Iran just executed more people in a single year than any point in the last decade.
We're talking about a spike so severe that international human rights organizations are sounding the alarm on what could happen next.
Here's what you need to know.
First, the numbers are staggering. Human rights groups documented executions at levels not seen since the 1980s.
This isn't a gradual increase, it's a sharp, deliberate acceleration. And the timing matters. These executions follow the anti-government protests that swept Iran earlier this year. Protesters demanded political freedom and economic reform. The government responded with force. Second, this is a pattern. After mass protests, authoritarian regimes typically escalate crackdowns. Iran is following that playbook. Arrests spike. Trials accelerate. Death sentences are handed down.
And now, executions are happening at record pace.
Human rights organizations are warning that hundreds more could face execution in the coming months.
Third, the geopolitical impact is real. When a major regional power like Iran ramps up internal repression, it signals weakness and desperation. It tells the world that the government sees its population as a threat. That's destabilizing. It also isolates Iran further from international partners and strengthens the argument for harder sanctions and diplomatic pressure. Fourth, this reveals something crucial about the nature of the protest movement. These weren't fringe demonstrations, they were widespread enough that the government felt threatened. And when governments feel threatened by their own people, they typically respond with escalation, not reform. That's the cycle we're watching. The insight here: executions at this scale aren't just human rights violations.
They're a strategic signal.
Iran's leadership is betting that overwhelming force will crush dissent.
They're wrong. History shows us that mass repression typically fuels more resistance, not less.
This could backfire spectacularly.
What's happening in Iran right now matters for the entire Middle East.
If the government succeeds in crushing the protest movement through execution and terror, it sets a precedent. It shows authoritarian regimes that extreme force works. If it fails, if protests reignite despite the crackdowns, it could spark something bigger. This is one of the most important stories in global geopolitics right now, and most people aren't paying attention. The execution numbers are climbing. Human rights groups are warning of worse to come. And the international community is largely silent. If you want to understand what's really happening in the Middle East, you need to understand Iran's internal crisis.
Follow for more daily briefings on what's actually going on.